hey, we are about 11 days out from Christmas, but there's still some last-minute ideas that you can use to make the most of the season. That's what we're talking about today on the Must Increase podcast. Welcome to the Must Increase podcast, where we equip you to communicate your message, reach more people, and ultimately increase His name through your church. I am Luke Clayton, your host, and I'm joined by my co-host and producer of the podcast, Bo Snyder. Bo, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you. The season is going fast.
It always does.
I love Christmas. This is going to sound super cheesy, but I love it more than anybody else. I think everybody feels that way.
Challenge accepted.
Right. But it is going fast, but we're right in the middle of just the time of year where the Christmas outreach is going on. It's in full steam. And yesterday, obviously Sunday, we had several churches use our Christmas films in one way or another.
At this point, we've had a few of them actually, let us know, like, hey, we were presented it on this date, or we're going to present it on this date. And
obviously, a little too early for feedback being Monday, but I'm assuming it went well. And obviously, and also this coming week, it'll happen again.
I know this at our church. We did it at our church yesterday.
We did,
and it was awesome, and it always has been. And but it always seems like it's better than the year before.
Yeah.
And there's just something about our church. I mean, we're biased. It's our church, but
of course,
they have a really good choir.
I love the music.
And orchestra.
I do.
Their music's more. It's more. I would call it impactful. Is the kind of the nature of their music. It's okay. So I'm gonna nerd out for a minute.
Nerd out.
All right. So Bo knows this about me. A weird thing about me is I like to listen to movie soundtracks. That's my preferred genre of music.
That's what he does.
That's what
True
I
story.
do. It's pretty much that and podcasts and occasional like Christian music. Like that. That's it. That's my listening. That's my listening consumption habits. But that's why I really like our church's music, because they have this orchestra and it's just epic. Like some of their songs are just, truly like epic. Like,
gives you shivers.
It makes me feel like I'm in a movie.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's what our music guy's going for. He might hear this and be like,
well, something is going right.
But it's doing something for us. So anyways, always a great service there, of course, accompanied with one of our short films there. So and we're thankful that they take advantage of that resource and use it. But so we're looking forward to hearing back from other churches, though, getting some feedback and seeing how things go.
Well, let me hit up our dates one more time, because this coming Sunday, December 22nd, the last Sunday before actual Christmas happens, and then on Tuesday, Christmas Eve, and Wednesday, Christmas Day.
Yep.
Now, last time we kind of talked about having Christmas Eve service and how that's an awesome, most powerful time of year to present the gospel, and we talked about no matter what time of year or what time of the Christmas Eve it falls, have a Christmas Eve service.
Yep.
But anyway, I say all that to say, if you've procrastinated, there's still a little time here.
There's still time.
The window is just about closed, but we have a few solutions to get that impactful service ready if you haven't yet.
Yep, exactly. So these ideas that we're going over in this episode, they can be implemented at any time of the Christmas season. But even if you are still kind of feel like you're running behind, these are a few ideas that they don't take much to go ahead and just start doing them now. Even just just a few days out from Christmas itself, you can just go for it. And I will mention we've been really talking about our Christmas film packages, but it is still not too late for you to get one of these and present it at your church. So if you're looking to have an impactful, the Sunday right before Christmas, this coming Sunday, an impactful Christmas Eve service, I guarantee you these will help you with that goal. So even if you have, in fact, this is really the time to start thinking about these options if you wait listen, because it's like we said before, our goal with these is that 80 to 90% of the work is already done for you.
Right. And we've mentioned in a couple of podcast episodes before, there are certain things that you can plan, and like physical materials. It needs a couple of weeks to get those to you, or there are certain things it is definitely too late to do. Yeah. You're not going to put on a musical. You're not going to put on a live event at this time if it hasn't been planned out.
And if you still think you are, please don't try.
I was just thinking somebody's like, I'm going to put together
a challenge accepted there too.
A 3-man skit or something. Please don't do that.
Please don't try.
Make it, you can still have a powerful service that looks like it's been planned for months, weeks, if you go with one of these ideas.
Yep. So you can get those at ChurchMediaHQ.com. And, we have mentioned, too, we also have the free version of Nativity there as well. It's about a 4-minute, includes just the video download. But this is a great, and it depends on the feel you're going for in your maybe your Christmas Eve service specifically. But a lot of churches go for like a more kind of, reflective, like kind of like quiet type of service for Christmas Eve, kind of calm and whatever. I always think of Home Alone. Like, talk about like they're up there singing, they're holding their candles in the corner. Anyways. But they really are kind of looking for something a little more peaceful, if you will. And this one is really great for that because it's just, like we said, it's just a classic telling of the Luke 2 account with narration and a visual. So, be sure to head over to ChurchMediaHQ.com and check out what we have. If you've waited till last minute, now's really the time to take advantage of a resource like this. So let's dive into a few of these ideas today. Bo, the first one has to do with what you do. So I'm going to let you introduce this one.
Yeah, first one is show a welcome video before the service begins to acquaint your guests with your church. Now, we've talked many, many times how if somebody new comes into your church, well, even back up even farther, Christmas time, there's going to be new people. It's just guaranteed, okay? No matter what size of your church, you're going to have some visitors or first-time guests. So They don't know your building. They don't know your people. They are just sometimes lost. Even if someone has greeted them, someone's reached out to them, it can just feel very uncomfortable for that first 20, 30 minutes. Yeah. This is all brand new to me. So something that we've tried to push churches to do, and we've done this for several different churches, is create just a welcome video that plays maybe a couple minutes before the church opens or starts. I guess the service starts. And it just gives a brief, hey, welcome, thanks for being here. And we like to show a little B-roll of the property. Hey, down here you got the kids ministry down here. You can drop your kids off. You can come by the welcome desk. It just kind of gives them a very brief opening. And it's not very long, maybe 2-3 minutes, at the longest. But it's just that little extra touch, because if you don't have that or no one really gets up and welcomes them, the service starts and I'm just kind of going to go along with whatever happens here. I'm kind of lost, but I'll just kind of find my way. Yeah. But just that one little touch before, and then it ends with, thank you for being here as we open our service today. Yeah. It just kind of adds that one less little bit of relief, like, okay, I'm just kind of, I know what's going on. I see a face, and there's the preacher or whoever. It just kind of helps, I guess.
And something, too, that it helps with is, a lot of times it's great to mention, like, your kids' ministry. You know, and they say, hey, we have services for kids. Because you'll be surprised, like, if somehow, most churches have, like greeters, people that are, greeting people and welcoming people as they come in. But sometimes there are people that are new to your church that's kind of slip past the greeters, and they've just got their kid, and they bring them into the main service, and they have no idea. They're clueless. Right. And then when they see that on a video, like, oh, hey, your kids, we have service for your kids. Like, oh, cool, I'll take them over there.
No, it's funny. Just a couple weeks ago, I saw, I think they were new. I saw them come in, and they had 3 or 4 kids, kids, aged to, probably like 6 through 10 or 11. And I was, thinking, well, I know the kids service just started, and maybe they don't know. And actually, someone did. I saw someone kind of mention to them, and they all left. I was like, yep, there they go. It was kind of like, that's cool.
Yeah. So this welcome video has a lot of benefits, and kind of covers. Another nice benefit we like to say too is, if you're not doing a video, like obviously someone in most cases is going to welcome people to the church, like as it's beginning. Yeah. But this welcome video makes sure that because we've all been in a situation where maybe we're speaking in front of a live audience, and you forget things, you forget important information, or maybe you ramble on and it takes a little bit too long. We've probably all been in that position before, or at least witnessed it. And so with the video, it guarantees that everything is going to be said that needs to be said, and it's going to be concise. We're going to know exactly how long it's going to take. It's going to take 2 minutes, 3 minutes, however long that's going to be. So
it's a benefit to the visitor, the new person, and also to the church staff.
Exactly.
It works both ways.
I literally like that idea, and we think it's great. Some churches do something like that every week, but we think this time of year is a really good time to implement something like this, at least for these few seasons or weeks rather, where you're going to have more visitors for the Christmas season. The next idea we have, and once again, you could really start implementing these at any time. So, but I don't think it's too late to post a daily countdown to Christmas on Instagram and your social media.
Who doesn't love a countdown to Christmas? Like, I mean, we had one on our little counter for years as a kid. 12, 11. I mean, it's one of those things. Yeah. Makes you feel like a kid. Like, 5 days till Christmas or
exactly.
Whatever.
So, we're like, 11 days out from Christmas at this
point?
I think that's so, hey, start with 10. Like, hey, 10 days. In fact, okay, well, by the time we release this, I think I can make this happen. So I'm doing this on the fly. I'm gonna have Matt throw together like just some graphics that you can use for this. Okay, so
great idea.
Well, I just Matt's going to hear this and be like, "Wait, what?" But no,
days to throw us together.
No, yes. I'll be sure to talk to him about that before we release it. He has no idea about it right now, but I know Matt. He's good. He'll make it happen. So let's have him make I'm gonna ask him, see if he can throw together maybe just a few Instagram images, and we'll throw that up so you can download it. We'll add links to that in the show notes here.
Matt, we have confidence in your skills.
So you can do this. And we'll throw it on our mustincrease.com/Christmas page as well. So that's where you can find these tips, is at mustincrease.com/Christmas. And we'll also have a link there to include the image download. So I just decided we're doing that right here on the spot. And so, Matt, there's your challenge.
You're welcome.
He's like, all right, great. Okay, so but post that daily countdown. It's just a cool way to keep people engaged on social media, and you've seen it. It's once again not really an original idea, but hey, maybe something you haven't thought of trying for your church. The next one, and I really like this one. I think this one applies year round, but it definitely during Christmas services. Be extra careful to avoid insider terms during your Christmas season services.
You could preach a sermon on this one, Luke. I know you could. Because when it comes to marketing and branding, and it's like there's certain things that you avoid.
Yep.
And so I know you can talk about this one.
So a lot of times, and we can be, well, let's not pick on churches, all right?
No,
I'm going to pick on our industry, okay? Sometimes I've been guilty of, when I'm talking to another church leader or somebody that we're doing work for, I've been guilty of using media terminology that they may not understand. This really tends to happen when we're doing websites. Mm-hmm. So, for example, I'll say, well, you need to make sure you register a domain, and then I'll talk about hosting, and I'll talk about content management system, and I'll talk about WordPress, and I'll talk about whatever, and I'll start about web development and coding and whatever. And if I'm not careful...
Borefest.
Yeah.
Let's talk about video again. Nah, I'm kidding. But you're making your point. It's exactly what
if I'm not careful... I've had it happen. I've had the person from the phone on the other line say, I don't know what any of that is. And so, it's just a marketing thing. You have to make things as simple as possible, and as much in the layman's terms. So just to continue to pick on us from a perspective of a business that does media and visual media and creative work, we know there's some technicalities to that. I mean, we could talk about film. We could talk about shutter speed and honestly, Matt. I'm
going to shoot in 16 using ND.
Yeah. And even now I get a little bit lost. I'm like, oh, hey, your camera is cool.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah.
I'll just write the script. Okay. And then we should apply it to design. We talk about these different softwares or whatever. So I'm just saying, and what we have to do, a job we have to do, is as we're trying to appeal to the church leader to, take advantage of the resources and services we have to say, no. We have to try to step back and think like someone who doesn't know a thing about video, who doesn't know a thing about websites, who doesn't know a thing about design, and make marketing language that's appealing to them. And so this even applies, though, because we talked about this a few weeks ago. Marketing is not just advertisement. It's everything. So even once you have, in our case, a new client or a new customer, we still have to continue to educate them. Maybe we kind of educate them and what these terms mean. But if we don't just, hey, oh yeah, make sure you have your domain registered and your hosting all set and your blah 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 server and blah. No, we're not without educating them first. And the nice thing about your church people, how this applies is your church people are already, most of them are already educated about your inside terminology. Okay, so a common thing. This is just a simple example. A common thing is a lot of churches might have a special name for their teen youth department. Nothing wrong with that.
Sure.
So they might say, our teen youth department is called Revive or something like that. Well, if you get up in your service and you say, hey, and there's a special Revive activity this Saturday, no one's gonna. People that have been going to church, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll make sure my kid's there.
Right.
But people who are, in your service that are new, they're gonna say, what's Revive? Can I go? Whatever. It's like, and you're gonna have a 60-year-old person showing up to this kids or this teenage event. They're like, oh, I don't fit in. And so, you've got to you've got to watch this insider language. Avoid. I always pick on the word fellowship. A lot of people are like fellowship. The only time you really hear a fellowship outside of the Christian realm is like when they're talking about like a doctor's fellowship or something like that, or a medical fellowship or something. So you got to just watch out for these terms. I think this applies really any time of year that you're having a service, but especially, once again, we're trying to keep in mind that this time of year, it's very, very likely that you're going to have much more visitors and guests and new people than you usually would.
Right.
So you want to be extra. Take the next one.
I'll take the next one. Post a Sunday preview video on your Instagram story toward the end of each week. Mm-hmm. Now, this goes along, if you haven't figured out, every time you can touch someone, it adds benefit and adds value to them. Anytime you can expose someone to what they're going to expect, what they're going to see, what they're going to experience on a Sunday, it just helps. It helps them be more comfortable when they come in. Okay, I've seen that guy. That guy post a video. I've seen the preacher. That kind of starts a little relationship with him. Mm-hmm, and just what it does is, if somebody can walk into something, they've probably visited your social media. They've probably visited your website, so they have an idea. It's very rare for someone to visit a church or visit any business or anything if they have no idea what it is. Mm-hmm. They've got an idea from somewhere. So anytime you can do that, it sounds cheesy, but it comforts them a little bit. It just makes them feel at home just a little bit.
For sure. Yeah, a little bit more like, hey, here's what I can expect. Here's what's coming up, and so it kind of offers that preview. And we say put it on the Instagram story. You can put it anywhere.
Oh, you put it anywhere.
On any social media, YouTube, whatever. But it is a great way. The next thing is this, and you really, once again, we know that, hey, Christmas is, just over 10 days away. So, it's really, you should have been implementing some of this by now, but it's a great thing to teach your church about the outreach opportunity that this Christmas season creates. That's because it's something you need to be continually reminding them about.
Yeah.
This Sunday we are having another service, and people are still going to be looking for church as we're coming into Christmas Eve. People are going to be looking for a church to go to. So we encourage you to be looking for people, inviting people. Some people, if you've not been plugged into church very long, you don't necessarily realize how big of a deal Christmas is for a church. I know even for me, it wasn't until I started working at a church that it really hit me that the great opportunity that you have for Christmas, that Christmas brings rather, to reach people. So you're going to want to teach people and be constantly reminding them. The next one, this is just a really simple social media one. Create a Christmas hashtag for your church. So, maybe it's hashtag Christmas at your church name or something like that.
Give because once again, this is something some people take for granted, that everyone knows how it works and what it is. Give us a brief, how hashtags work, how people, when they post, it connects people and they see. Yeah. Just tell us how it works.
For those of you out there who still have flip phones and you refuse to get on social media, but yes, the advantage of a hashtag is that you go on to Twitter or Instagram or even Facebook. There are something on Facebook, but Twitter and Instagram, they're really big, and you add what used to be called the pound sign. The little hashtag pound sign, and then you add just all one word, no spaces, and this is actually something that needs to be reminded. No spaces or special characters. It's just the word itself, because I've seen people try to add like hashtag like hashtag celebrate exclamation point. Well, the exclamation point is not going to be included in the hashtag. So that's just a little tip for you there, because some people still don't realize that. But that's for all the moms out there that are trying to figure out social media. But anyways, the advantage of this, I like this because it gives a common. So what happens is when you make that hashtag, it makes a hyperlink on Instagram or Twitter. or like I said, Facebook not as big there, but you can click that, and then you can go see all of the photos that anyone has posted using that hashtag.
This is a very simple example. This is very common for like events like weddings, like Bob and Katrina, hashtag 2019, or hashtag Bob and Katrina 2019 or something. It's just that it just gives them kind of a community of, hey, everyone that took photos, they can see what happened and who was there. It's just, you can do it for anything.
And I will say this too. This is not on the list, but this is an idea of how to use that. We've done this at our church before. You take those hashtags, you actually create a photo contest. And so you say, hey, whoever can take the best photo and post it to Instagram, Twitter with the hashtag, whatever your hashtag is, you go through and, you look and you give them whatever, and then here you got a prize. Well, we did that one year. It wasn't for Christmas. It was for another event. But what we were able to do was go through those images, and some dude took it, a couple guys actually, but one dude in particular, the guy who wound up winning, took it real serious.
Yeah.
And he showed up with like a really nice like camera, like a Nikon something, and was like taking these awesome shots and posting them, taking them home and editing them and posting them onto his social media. And the dude won. And then I reached out to him later. I was like, hey man, can we use those images for promotion? He was like, oh yeah, for sure. And so what that did for us is it was like free promotional images.
That's awesome.
And so really you could take this idea and run with it. But the thing I like about a hashtag, is being able to go back and this is something I do encourage people. A lot of people want to do, like, for example, let's say your name of your church is First Baptist. Okay, at least every Baptist church that was the first one is a First Baptist, amen. But let's say your hashtag is Christmas at FBC for First Baptist Church. Okay, so Christmas at FBC. A lot of people, they say, well, it's 2019. The hashtag is Christmas at FBC 2019, and the next year it's hashtag Christmas at FBC 2020. I don't think you should do that. I don't think you should make your hashtags particular to a time frame or a year. Mm-hmm. Here's why. Because now, when you do that, when next year in 2020, when I go click on that hashtag, I'm only going to see photos from 2020. Yeah. And I like the idea of being able to click on that hashtag, and even if I'm scrolling back to 5-6 years ago, I can still go back and see those pictures all in one place. That's just a preference opinion there, but that's free. That's free. Well, this is all free.
Yeah, that was all free right there. Yeah.
But that's just an extra little plug there. So create a little hashtag there for your Christmas services and encourage your church to use it. Once again, just going back to reminding your church every week. Now, we talked about reminding them of the importance of the Christmas season, but we want to remind them every week to keep you in the spirit of the hashtag to share about your Christmas services on social media.
To follow up with that, I'm going to give a brief example of just the power of sharing. If you aren't familiar with how sharing works on social media, think of it as compound interest on steroids. Yeah. And what that means is when you post something, let's say it goes to one person. Well, that person is going to share it, and then 30 of their friends are going to see it. Yep. And then 30 of those people are going to share it, and they might reach 120 people. And it just keeps building and building. And over just a course of a few hours, you're going to reach thousands of people. It's just the way social media works.
And it is. Well, and that's why the original term is still the term, but the original term for social media was actually social networking.
Yes, that's true.
And we don't really use that term as much anymore, but that's because that's exactly what it is. It's a network. Yep. The potential of this person has this many friends and this many friends or this many followers, it's insane. So retweeting, sharing, all that. So for sure, with all that to say, remember to encourage people, be posting on social media. It's an opportunity to take advantage of what we like to call digital outreach.
Yes.
We talk about outreach and, hey, you need to make a personal invitation. And there's nothing like a personal invitation. Yeah. Face-to-face invite. Like we said last week, bring in some cookies or something. Yep. Nothing like that. But there is so much opportunity in this day and age for digital outreach.
You can reach thousands of people for free.
Exactly.
Literally.
Exactly. And the way I see this, if you've got however many friends on Facebook or followers on Twitter, that are lives that you can touch. And really, God's given you the opportunity to steward that. That's a stewardship thing, in my opinion. How are you going to reach those people? And so take advantage of digital outreach by sharing and inviting people to church and letting them know what this time of year is all about. Well, hey, that was, like I said, these have just been a few of the ideas that are available on our 21 Christmas ideas list. Then you can find that at mustincrease.com/Christmas. Now, I do want to encourage you. We are releasing a very unique type of episode next week. And for the couple days before Christmas, December 23rd, we're releasing a very special type of episode. And I can tell you this, if you're a listener, that's great. We're glad to have you here, and it's still going to be available as an audio podcast, of course, but it will make so much more impact if you actually watch it on video. So if you haven't yet, be sure to check us out on YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube channel, because you are going to get the best experience out of next week's episode, you're going to want to watch it. So be sure to head over to our YouTube channel and watch it there. Well, as always, we are so excited to bring this to you. We make this podcast, we bring it to you every week because we want to be a help to church leaders. And so we always appreciate you for subscribing, for sharing with other people. And if you haven't shared it recently or given us a review or something like that, we'd really appreciate that. And always a shout out to associate producer Jonas Clayton for his work behind the scenes, and the main man, Bo Snyder himself, who makes it all happen, producer. And then also for myself and all of us here, Merry Christmas. And join us again next week on the Must Increase podcast, where we equip you to communicate your message, reach more people, and ultimately increase his name through your church.